The Finger of Fate. In every man's life, there comes a moment when fate takes a hand. When his course of action is inescapably dictated, his road revealed by the finger of fate.
Where the heck she got to? Oh, all these people, all yakking on about that freaky art show next door. Oh, where's the lace, for goodness sake?
Darling, he knows his craft so well, but I certainly wouldn't call him an artist.
But did you see Sorry Pennington sculpture?
No. Do tell me, what was it really like?
She used real livestock, would you believe?
Real livestock? So what's happened to tradition?
Tradition? Who cares about that old thing nowadays? Oh, my. Oh, pardon me.
What? Don't bother. I have another foot. Where do all these people come from? Weird clothes, weirder faces. What the heck am I doing here anyway? I guess I'll move back into the restaurant. There aren't so many people there. Just excuse me, would you? Just let me pass. Excuse me. Yep, thank you. Excuse me.
What's that?
Would you mind if I sat here for a few minutes? I'm supposed to meet my wife, and there are so many people around.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, sit down.
Thanks.
You won't mind if I carry on eating?
No. Please do.
I know what wives are.
All these arty people.
You been to the show?
The art show?
What else? Isn't that what they are all talking about, this mob in here? Real art lovers.
Well, I don't know what everybody's talking about, really. I'm not too well up on modern art myself.
You see that woman over there?
Huh?
The skinny one with black hair leaning over the bar?
Oh, yeah.
You know her?
No?
I do. Bettina Clark Resnikoff, a friend of my wife's. She writes the art column for the Weekly Herald. Don't have anything to do with her. Anything at all.
What do you mean?
If you really want an answer to that question, I can tell you, but it's a long story. In fact, I'd like to tell somebody, and a stranger might understand even better than a friend.
Well, sure, go ahead.
A lot of this story has to do with my marriage, and it's rather personal, but just bear with me, if you will, and you'll get the total effect. And maybe I'll have taught you something.
Taught me something?
You see, we had a really happy marriage, Sophie and I. Not exciting, but normal. Sophie was a little on the domineering side, but frankly, I didn't mind that. In fact, at that stage, her get up and go lent a spark to our relationship. At that stage, we had the usual hobbies.
Sam, it's got to stop.
Uh-huh. And what's got to stop, Sophie?
Oh, just look at us. Sophie and Sam Roseman.
Uh-huh.
We play bridge with the Baileys on Wednesdays. We go to movies Saturday, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I play canaster and go to Weight Watchers.
Yep.
You go bowling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, it's got to stop.
You bored with marriage already, Sophie?
Oh, Sam, you know I'm not. Oh, it's only that, well, we're in a rut. And I am going to get us out of that rut.
Oh.
Sam, I'm going to painting classes Saturday afternoons.
Painting? Oh, that's nice. Well, what'll you paint? Houses?
Okay, you can laugh, Sam Roseman, but you wait. Pretty soon I'll have you painting, too. You'll see if I don't. You'll be there right along with me.
Well, I thought painting. Oh, so it's just another craze? Like flower arranging or those things they do with folded paper. It won't last. But it did. And pretty soon she had me going to classes with her. And what's more, I was enjoying those classes. Although Sophie and I, right from the start, well, we didn't paint the same subjects. How much brush for you?
Now, Mrs. Roseman, let's see how your little abstract is getting along.
There, Miss Lakewell.
Yes.
I think I've done too much.
I see. I must say, I really go for that bold accretion of color. And the shapes, most exciting.
Oh.
Good work.
Why, thank you, Miss Lakewell.
And you, Mr. Roseman? Oh, I realize it's early days yet, but how's your study doing?
Well, take a look, Miss Lakewell.
Ah, a flower study. How charming. Yes. Oh, yes, indeed. I like it.
Sam, let me see.
Well, how do you like it, Sophie?
Flowers. Oh, Sam, isn't that rather ordinary? I mean, flowers.
It's very charming, Mr. Roseman. Very charming.
Why, thank you, Miss Lakewell.
Sam, I do believe you're enjoying these classes almost as much as I am.
Sophie, you know, I do believe you're right.
Flowers. I mean, how unoriginal can you get, for heaven's sake?
You see, right from the start, there it was, that little note of criticism. She carped. So we didn't paint the same things. Well, what did it matter? I liked my watercolors, my small, detailed flower studies. She went for bold, splashy abstracts. Okay, so it suited her personality. And then she started winning prizes.
Of course, I don't expect to win anything. I only entered because I thought I should. After all, what have I got to lose?
Well, nothing, Sophie.
Ladies and gentlemen. Folks, please. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a lot of pleasure to announce to you the prize winner in the Maple Hill Shopping Complex Artist of the Month.
Oh, Sam, I'm so nervous.
Sophie.
In the first prize for the painting entitled Struggle,
Sam, that's my
goes to
painting.
Mrs. Sophie Roseman of 206 Crescent Street.
Oh, why, Sophie, that's wonderful. Quite wonderful. Oh, first prize.
Well, of course, I never thought I'd get first. But it shows the judges know a thing or two.
Oh, congratulations, Mrs. Roseman. I'm delighted.
Oh, thank you, Miss Lakewell.
I guess you won't want our little painting classes anymore. Now you're a contest winner, will you?
No, Miss Lakewell. I guess I won't.
Excuse me, is this the prize winner?
Yeah.
My name is Bettina Clark Reznikov. I write the art column in the Weekly Herald.
Oh.
I wonder, could I have a few words with you?
Oh, why, of course. Sam, would you, I'll see you at the car.
Oh, yes, Sophie, of course. Oh, come on, Miss Lakewell. Let's go take a look at the other exhibits, shall we?
Mrs. Roseman.
Oh, call me Sophie.
Sophie, I'd very much like to write something about you for my column this week.
Oh.
Maybe you could come to my office tomorrow and we could talk. I mean, talk in depth about your work.
My work? But I only started painting a short while ago as a hobby. Sam, my husband, and I started going to classes to pass the time.
Well, I've been writing and talking on art for some years now. And I'd say that you have a truly original spirit. I'd go further and say that in a few years, Sophie Roseman will be a power to be reckoned with in the world of art.
Well, that's what she said. A power to be reckoned with. Now, don't get me wrong. I was as pleased as Sophie that she'd won a prize. But I couldn't help noticing that things were changing between us. And once Bettina Clark Reznikov appeared on the scene, things started changing with great rapidity. Bettina visited our home soon after that.
Charming, quite charming.
Oh, that's a comfortable home.
Of course, for a free spirit like your wife, I expect she finds it a bit constricting. It must cramp her style.
I don't think so.
I mean to say, velvet drapes in the living room.
What's wrong with them?
My dear Mr. Roseman, nobody hangs velvet drapes anymore. Nobody at all.
What's that, Bettina?
She says velvet's out.
Oh, I know. I was meaning to talk to you about that, Sam. I'm having the entire living room redecorated next week.
You are?
Yes, Brinker Malmason's consented to do us over.
Brinker? Why, Sophie, you'll be the envy of everybody in town. Brinker does the most most exciting things with people's homes.
I don't want the living room changed. I like it the way it is.
Sam, we won't argue now.
I think we will, Sophie. This living room was fine when we married. What's wrong with it now all of a sudden?
Sam, not in front of our guests.
And tell me, Sophie, where do you do your work? Where's the creative center for you?
Oh, I don't have a proper studio yet. Sam and I have been using the garage. The car stands in the driveway.
No studio? Oh, why, my goodness. I don't see how you create those wonderful, bold visions in a garage. No, if this was my house, you know what I'd do?
No?
I'd forget about getting Brinker Mel Mason in to redo this room. I'd rip everything out, but everything. And I'd tear out those windows, and I'd put in clear glass, floor to ceiling. And I'd use this room as a studio.
But this is the living room. Where would we live?
I'm not suggesting you do this. Of course, it's only my little notion.
You know, Bettina, you have a point. The light is good in here, and I've been thinking of using really large canvases, and this would be the only place to work. Oh, Sam, you wouldn't mind too much, would you?
Sophie, if you touch this living room, so help me, I'll burn your canvases and your paints.
Oh, you men. Always so stuffy and hidebound. Can't you realize that your wife is an original, something to be cherished and fostered?
Sophie may be as original as she likes, but this is my home, and what I say goes. The living room stays just the way it is, and that's final.
Now, don't be sulky, Sam. There's still a study and the kitchen and your bedroom for you to sit in. And you have to admit, without those small windows, with the drapes gone, with the walls stripped, oh, this living room does make a wonderful studio for me. Oh, I can really create here. I know your trouble, Sam Roseman. You're not original. I am.
Sophie, you watch out. If you're not careful, you'll push me too far. I blame the whole thing on that Bettina Clark-Resnikoff. The woman is a vampire, an articulate vampire, and her big thing is accusing people of not being original. And she really cultivated Sophie. They spent hours on the telephone yakking to each other. They visited art shows together. They joined clubs. And always at home it was Bettina says or Bettina thinks, until I could have cheerfully murdered the woman. But I didn't. Oh, no. That's not what I did.
My wife wants me to take up painting, you know, now that she started.
Well, you take my advice. Don't. You keep on with your bowling and your woodworking or whatever it is you do. You keep clear of the painting. Yep, it was this word original. It began to haunt me. So where's my breakfast this morning, Sophie?
Breakfast? Oh, Sam, nobody eats a hot breakfast these days. Nobody at all.
I do.
You did. Not anymore. There's cold cereal in the kitchen. Oh, I have so much to get on with.
I want my breakfast.
Now, Sam, don't be grouchy.
And another thing, now that you've taken over the living room for your painting, where am I supposed to paint?
You call those realistic little flower studies painting?
Of course.
Oh, Sam. If only I could make you realize nobody wants realism nowadays. Nobody at all. People like a little flair, you know, something different.
I like painting flowers.
Well, I guess you can go on working in the garage. You don't need much room, do you? Not like me. Do you know what Bettina said to me yesterday?
I don't think I want to know.
She said that if one wants to be truly original, one has to stop using paint altogether.
Huh?
So I'm going to start using cracker crumbs.
Your what?
Yes, cracker crumbs and wood chips. Anything that comes to hand. It's called collage. You sort of collect things and throw them at the canvas. That's original now, not like your silly little
Now,
flowers.
Sophie, don't you forget what I said. You watch out, or you'll push me too far.
That's just what you need, Sam. You need to be pushed. Maybe if I do push you, you'll show some originality.
No, I will not give up my bowling evening, Sophie. I enjoy bowling.
Sam, it's so unoriginal. Sam, I guess we'll stop those bridge evenings with the Baileys.
But I enjoy them.
But I mean to say, bridge. Nobody plays bridge these days. Nobody at all.
The thing that worried me most was the change in Sophie. Every day you could see it happening.
You mean clothes, that sort of thing?
Oh, if only that was all. Oh, sure, that Bettina got her on to wearing outlandish clothes. Sackcloth and beads and sandals.
My wife wears sandals.
Burn them, son. They're the beginning of the end. No, it was far deeper than that. It was this word, original. Okay, so she was a better painter than me. Well, that didn't worry me. So long as I could sit at my easel in the garage painting my delicate little flower pictures, I was happy. But that didn't suit Sophie or Bettina. And I knew the end was coming.
Sam, are you there?
Yes, Sophie, I'm here. Come and see what I've done.
Come on, Bettina. He's in here.
Hello, Sam.
Oh, Bettina.
So, what are you doing, Sam?
Take a look. I've just about finished it.
Daisies, would you believe? Daisies in a blue bowl.
Oh, Sam, how could you?
What do you mean, how could I? It's a nice little picture. It's real.
Realism?
Sam, I told you. Who's going for realism? Oh, it's so unoriginal.
Sophie, did I tell you about this guy over at Oyster Cove who's painting directly on skin?
Skin?
Yes, he painted his wife. It was so original. He painted beautiful abstract patterns all over her, and she won a special trophy at the summer show there.
Painting on skin.
And why not? I tell you, Sam Roseman, if you ever did something like that, I'd have some respect for you.
I can't see Sam producing an original work like that, Sophie, can you? He's so totally unoriginal.
Bettina, I think you'd better get out of here. I'm not given to violence, but I could be tempted. Now you get out. Both of you. You both get out and leave me in peace.
Of course, it was written up in all the papers with pictures.
I saw it. Magnificent work. Original.
You hear that, friend? That horrible word.
Yeah, I'm beginning to see what you mean.
Well, of course, after I'd ordered Bettina and Sophie out of my studio, I knew I'd gone too far. I knew there was only one logical step after that. Sophie was going to accuse me of not being original enough for her.
Surely not.
Oh, yes. It came to a head exactly 2 days ago.
2 days?
Yes. I was sitting in the garage painting when Sophie walked in.
Sam Roseman, I want to talk to you.
Oh, yes?
Take a look at these plans.
Plans? What sort of plans?
For our new house.
New house? What's wrong with this house?
Oh, Sam, nobody lives in this sort of house anymore. Nobody at all. What? Now, I'm giving you a chance to do something truly original for a change. Take a look at this. Designed by one of the leading young architects in town.
But this isn't a house.
Oh, of course it is.
But it's egg-shaped. I wouldn't want to live in an egg-shaped house. No, Sophie, I'm sorry. You take those plans back to Bettina and you tell her no.
I see. And that's your last word?
Yes, Sophie.
Very well. In that case, I've got something else to say to you. I've thought it over very carefully. I've also discussed it at length with Bettina.
Well, what is it this time?
We don't really have anything in common, you and I, do we? I'm becoming so original as a personality, and you're so ordinary. I want a divorce.
Divorce? Sophie, but what for? Why? I've never stood in your way. I've gone along with all your
it's no use
schemes.
talking about it, Sam. My mind's made up.
But
I'm seeing Bettina's attorney this morning.
But Sophie...
I'm sorry, Sam. We've had 23 good years together, but you see, I didn't really know who I was during that time, and now I'm beginning to find myself. Besides, you haven't been happy over the past few months, have you?
But things will come right.
You don't want to change. That's your trouble. You like to stand still. See what I mean? That little painting of yours. Now look at it. That's just what Bettina meant all along. No originality. Oh, completely predictable. Sam, I want a divorce immediately. I know now that you'll never do anything new.
Oh, predictable, am I? You think I'm completely predictable?
Go!
No.
No! Damn it! Sam, you're hurting
Go on.
me. Let go of my throat.
So here's one original thing. This is something I've never done before. Something original, altogether new for me. This. Oh dear. Sophie? No, she's dead. Quite dead. She looks very peaceful. But there's something missing. Something she needs to make her look quite perfect. I know. She lacks color. She needs painting. So I remembered what Sophie and Bettina had talked about. Some man who painted his wife, painted on her skin. And I got Sophie's paints. Watercolors wouldn't do, you see. And I painted her. I made her nose a rich yellow, and her cheeks a deep cobalt blue, and her mouth an acid green, very vivid. But it didn't work very well because the paint kept dribbling from the corners of her lips. I guess it's because I hadn't worked like that before. I didn't know the technique. But by the time I'd finished, she really looked very interesting. And then I realized that I wasn't alone. Oh, hello, Bettina.
Sam, what are you... What's that?
Oh, it's Sophie.
Why is she lying there?
It was easier than hoisting her into a chair.
Is she dead?
Oh, yes. Yes, I strangled her. Take a look. Don't you think that's a most fascinating effect? Original, wouldn't you say?
Sam, you're mad. You've painted Sophie.
That's right. I thought bold colors for her, nothing pale and drab. So I used the rich shades. I'm rather pleased with it. I rather think it's the best thing I've ever done. Come and take a closer look. Come along, Bettina. Perhaps you'd like me to paint you, too, just as I've painted her. It doesn't take long, and I could exhibit the two of you. Still lifes. Very still lifes. I'll become a specialist in still lifes.
No!
So you see, friend, you keep your wife away from painting.
You killed your wife?
Oh, yes. Oh, but it was her fault. You do see that, surely.
Mr. Sam Roseman?
Yes.
Police. Homicide.
Oh, dear. Oh, you'll want me to come along with you, I expect. Oh, you'll have to excuse me, I'm afraid, friend. I've enjoyed talking to you. Goodbye.
That was A Specialist in Still Lifes by Carol Rosenthal, with Bill Smale as Sam and Pam Murray as Sophie. Adapted and produced by Margaret Heel.
Listen next Friday evening at the same time to another dramatic presentation in our series, The Finger of Fate.